everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I've talked a lot about how mechanics are leaving their jobs and there's a general mechanic shortage. Well, as a car owner that's looking for a reputable mechanic, that can make things a bit more difficult. In today's video, we're going to cover how to find a trustworthy mechanic and how to spot the signs of a scam before it's too late. Whether you're new to car ownership or if you had your fair share of mechanic mishaps, these tips will save you time, money, and frustration. Let's get into it. Choosing a good mechanic can be extremely hard, especially when you have little to no knowledge of cars. Bad mechanics tend to be charming and trusting, but that's not only exclusive to them. It's pretty difficult to be confident in a vulnerable situation. So how do you go about finding a good one instead of a bad one? Let's get into the first tip. Get recommendations and referrals. Start by asking people you trust for recommendations. And I don't mean to sound harsh when I say this, but know the person and know their vehicle. If a friend recommends you to a mechanic and their car's always falling apart, well, it might be your friend or it might be their mechanic. Word of mouth is still one of the best ways to find a great mechanic. Ask your friends, family, and coworkers about their experiences. Mechanics with a solid reputation will usually have plenty of happy customers who are willing to share their experiences. If you're new to an area, try looking for a local online community or forums. A quick search might point you in some highly rated shops nearby. Tip 2. Check reviews and research the shop. Before you even set foot in a shop, check out online reviews. Websites like Google, Yelp, and Facebook provide a good insight into a shop's reputation. Pay attention to both the overall rating and the recent reviews, especially any complaints about pricing, delays, or dishonest work. Yelp is always a good site and has a really good system on finding and deleting paid-for biased reviews. But do take what people say with a grain of salt. People love complaining about the little things, like, "The mechanic moved my seat. How unprofessional." Don't just look at the positive reviews. See how the business responds to negative feedback. A business that takes its time to address the concerns is one that cares about customer satisfaction. Tip 3. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You may not know what an alternator does or why the car is shaking like it owes you money, but it never hurts to ask. A good mechanic will sit there and explain it to you. And not all the time due to insurance reasons, but sometimes they will bring you into the shop and actually show you the issue on your car. The internet, once again, can be a good friend. If your mechanic calls you after dropping off your car, say with a check engine light, and he has a diagnosis and a repair, you can simply ask, "What code did it give you?" You can then write down the code and ask to call him back. Doing a quick internet search with your code and symptom, along with the year, make, and model of your vehicle, can possibly lead you to a forum that has a person with a common problem or fix. Now, fair warning, not all engine codes have the same fix, but with the given info, it can at least help you identify if your mechanic is in the right area. Research is key. If you want to be sure that the job was done correctly, ask for the old parts back before the repairs are done. Some mechanics may secretly think it's annoying, and some may not even be able to because of a core charge, but it builds trust and reputation. A sign of a good mechanic is one who breaks things down and explains why your car needs that repair. 4. Ask for an estimate. Once you've found a mechanic you trust, always ask for an estimate before any work begins. A good mechanic will provide a clear, written estimate, tell you his hourly labor rate, explain the parts, labor, and additional charges if needed. If a mechanic refuses to give you an estimate or gives you a vague answer, that's a huge red flag. Make sure you're getting transparency about what you're paying for. Tip 5. Beware of upselling or unnecessary repairs. One of the most common ways shady mechanics scam customers is by recommending unnecessary repairs. Going back to what I previously said, asking questions is a good way to get a bad mechanic stuck in a loop. In terms of maintenance, your owner's manual will let you know what needs to be changed at certain intervals. Now, there are some exceptions to this, but if your mechanic is recommending a coolant flush on your 3-year, 20,000-mile car and the book says to change it at 100,000 miles, well, something's not right. Tip 6. Watch for red flags. Now, let's talk about some red flags that should make you suspicious. First, if a mechanic is overly vague, rude, or rushes through the diagnosis, it could mean they're not fully invested in finding the right solution. Second, if the shop seems unorganized, dirty floors, random tools everywhere, or mechanics that are on their phones or just not paying attention, this could be a sign of the quality of work is also lacking. Lastly, if the mechanic or shop won't offer a warranty on the parts or labor, that's another warning sign. Just think about it. If this was your doctor's office, would you be going there? So in conclusion, finding a good mechanic requires a bit of research, but it's worth it in the long run. Don't always settle for the first shop you find. Ask questions, do your homework, never hesitate to get a second opinion. And remember, paying an hour of diagnosis is a lot cheaper than a 14-hour engine job that was misdiagnosed. If you've had any bad experience with mechanics, or if you have any tips or tricks when it comes to finding a reputable tech, drop a comment below and share your story. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to me, Bobby Belts, for more tips on keeping your car in tip-top shape. Thank you guys for watching.